It's time for Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
Ladies and gentlemen of Grand Rapids, 'tis the season for shopping and cooking and feeding and cleaning, the frenzy that is all the things holiday season. How much do you guys cook? Because your family is all around you. You have the luxury of a lot of family in town, except for, where does your mom and dad live here in Michigan?
Oh, yeah. Kimberly's parents and my parents all live within 30 minutes of us.
It's your grandfather that's in Delaware, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my extended family is in Delaware, but all of our immediates, my parents, her parents, all of our siblings, all within a 30-minute drive.
Which is a good thing.
It's great.
To some extent and a bad thing to some extent around the holiday seasons.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a great thing when you want to get together. It's a bad thing when someone else needs an emergency babysitter, right? And then you're like, oh, man, we're only 20 minutes away. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, we got you. Bring them on over,
right.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Family.
And it's especially for us. So I'll tell you this. So when you grow up on a military family like I am, I was born on the Dover Air Force Base in Dover, Delaware.
Yep.
All my extended family's from Delaware and Maryland. So I'm born in Delaware. The Army moved us to Indiana when I was 9 months old, and then to Michigan when I was 5. And so I've grown up my entire life living in Michigan while all my cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents were in Delaware and Maryland. And my wife, her family's from Michigan, but she was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then her parents were pastors in Ohio for most of her childhood. So she grew up in Ohio while her family was in Michigan, and so on. So we both grew up away from extended family, so it became very important to us in our adult lives. I said, I don't want to live away from your parents or my parents.
Yeah.
I want us to be close so that our kids can be around their cousins. Because we got 1, maybe 2 times a year seeing my cousins my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd go and be like, oh, I love these guys. See you in 6 months,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And that kind of stinks. So we were really passionate about early on in our marriage, hey, let's make sure that we stay close. So when job opportunities would come up or things would pop up, we'd say, no, that doesn't fit the long-term goal of keeping close.
Yeah.
And so it helped us really filter out some decisions early on.
Yeah. And that's a great perspective, right? Set yourself with some standards, some expectations in the beginning, and then that's the goal that you work towards. And that's a young life decision that you and Kimberly made together. But in fact, that kind of perspective, it can play out to our benefit many times over throughout life. Case in point, the work that you do helping your clients in your office as far as sitting down with them at the beginning of retirement, figuring out what the goals are for that person or that couple, and then building out a plan that's going to help them achieve those goals in this next phase of life.
And I think so much of it comes from your story, right? And I talk about this a lot, but like, why do you have the goals you have today?
Yeah.
Like for us, right? When people say, man, if you could have, and we joke all the time, like, why do we live in Michigan? Every winter we say, why do we live in Michigan?
Right, I was about to say the early
like,
snow that happened a couple weeks ago. You're like, you love the snow, but dang, is it cold?
And I love November, December snow.
Yeah.
It's warm, wet, like it's beautiful, but it's still like 35 to 40 degrees.
Yeah.
It's the January snow that I'm like, it's -10. What are we doing here? You know? And it's the crazy weather and it's the wind and it's the, the lake effect and all that. But at the same time, in the summer times, we're like, man, this is the best place on earth. I love being here in the summer times. When I sit down with clients, a lot of times it's that conversation of, well, why do you want to do the things you say you want to do in retirement? I want to travel. Okay, great. Why? Well, because I've been at a desk job and not traveled my whole life, and now I finally can. Great. I've got, there's things we want to do, and you have to kind of figure out the why, because it helps you make sense of it all.
Yeah.
Why do Kimberly and I want to stay close? Because we weren't. And so it put a really high value for us, and everybody has that thing. So I just think that's when you work with someone who's here, who's local, who gets it, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Well, Mike and his team, they are here. They are local offices in Kentwood, right near Woodland Mall. Again, if you are ready to start a conversation with Mike about your questions when it comes to retirement saving, give us a call. Let's set up that initial phone conversation with you and Mike. It's 616-512-2127, or again, michigansretirementcoach.com. One thing I believe we can all agree on as far as a goal that all of us have is to pay less in taxes, pay as little as possible in taxes, right?
Yes.
From out the gate. Yes, Mike, please help me pay less in taxes and keep more of my money. I've already given enough to the government throughout my working years. So let's discuss our RMDs, our required minimum distributions, because as it stands right now, just depending on where you fall for American citizens, the IRS makes you start taking out your RMDs between, it's either 73 or 75 depending your birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right?
It's 73 right now for everybody.
Okay.
It's going to 75 in 2034.
Okay, got it.
So right now, everybody, if you're born 1960 or later,
okay,
then it's that. If you're before 1960, there's a sliding scale, but you're basically in now.
All right. So RMDs, as we know, it's that money that you put in your 401k, your IRA, your pre-tax accounts. Uncle Sam wants his share of it. So he says by the time you turn 73, you got to take out a certain amount every year so that we can get your tax money out of it and put it towards what we want to spend on. But a way to possibly lower the amount owed is to convert a portion to a Roth and pay taxes sooner, aka pay them now. Is there a good time to do that, though? That's the question everybody wants to know. When should I do it? This is Morningstar's Christine Benz.
Retirement planners often say that post-work, pre-RMD, pre-age 73 now is a real sweet spot to consider those conversions. And the key reason is that you have a lot of control over your taxable income in those years. They may be kind of the high spending years of your retirement, but if you can curtail how much you're spending, how much taxable income you have, that means that you can convert portions of your balance at a lower tax rate. So that's why it's a terrific window to look at potentially doing some conversions in that particular period.
All right, Mike, we're looking for that sweet spot. Do you agree with what Christine's saying here? How do you help somebody figure this out?
I agree with most of what she's saying.
Okay.
I do hate the phrase curtail spending.
Okay.
If we talk about what does the phrase curtail spending mean, it means do less of what you were going to do so you can Roth convert more money. I don't really care for that part of it, but otherwise I mostly agree with her.
Okay.
If you retire at 60 or 62 or 65, whatever the number is, and you don't have to take your RMDs until later, right? You wait till 73 years old or 75 years old. There's this window before those kick in where, all right, now I'm not working. I'm pulling from my investments. Maybe I'm taking Social Security or maybe I'm not. How much should I convert? Well, again, you have to kind of counterbalance this thing of, when you stop working and you retire, it may be the healthiest day of the rest of your life.
Right.
And the most active you can be the rest of your life. And the most adventurous you can be the rest of your life. So if the first 5 to 10 years of your retirement are what we call the must-go years, you must knock out everything on your bucket list. I want to go to Ireland, do it. You want to go on a jungle safari, go do it, right? Because at 75 or 80, you're not going to want to do it. So if we're knocking out bucket list items, to me, I would prioritize that over Roth conversion just from a die with zero regrets model. And I love that book, the Die with Zero book. And it's just, I still just kind of always keep coming back to that. If I've Roth converted, but not clean up my bucket list, then I've done it wrong. So I want to make sure that when I do it. You can still Roth convert into your RMD years. It's just, there's some limitations on what you can do and all that. But I think the most important thing is, what are we doing? Like, what is this money for? Why did you save it? Did you save it to Roth convert it, or did you save it to live off of it? So I don't want to curtail spending for the sake of Roth conversion.
Okay.
However, like I just sat down with a couple this past week, Dave and Karen, they're from Rockford. And as we're going through the plan with them, we're looking at how much they're going to pay in taxes over the balance of their life. We tend to look at taxes in like a 1-year view. How much do I feel comfortable paying this year? And that's how we do it.
Right.
But for Dave and Karen, we said, all right, if you are, and they're 64 right now, you are scheduled to pay, for them, it was about $800,000 in taxes over the balance of their life. And we ran an estimation of like age 90, 95. So you're scheduled to pay $800,000 in taxes.
Did you mention how much they had saved? How much have they saved? Did you remember?
They're at about 1.4 million.
Okay. And
1.4
$800,000, that's more than half of what they've saved is what they're going to pay in taxes. All right.
Because they have all pre-tax savings, all 401k money.
Okay.
So as we went through their plan, I said, all right, there are really good intentional strategies we can do to get that number down to about 500,000, maybe even 400,000. Before we do that, what do you guys want to accomplish in your first 5 years of retirement? Like, what will help us if we stood 5 years from now, Dave and Karen, when you guys look back, what will designate we had a successful 5 years?
Okay.
It changes the view a little bit. If I accomplish these things, all right, well, by age 69, we'd like to say that we've gone here, done that. We kind of went through their list. They wanted to expand on their house a little bit because a lot of people think about downsizing. They wanted to make a grandkid friendly house.
Okay.
They wanted to add space for all the grandbabies to come spend the night. and they couldn't do it in their current house.
Or a lot of people want to stay in their house, but their bedroom is upstairs. They want to build a suite that's on the main floor so that they know that they can stay there for a long time.
Yeah. Do a little retrofitting or life updating. Mm-hmm. So that was a big goal for them. So should we Roth convert or should we house convert? Should we use some of that money, use the low tax brackets to take their pre-tax money and build the life they want to live? Mm-hmm. And then we said, okay, great. So let's do those things for 5 years and figure out how much you're going to pay in taxes. So we kind of worked through the whole scenario. And again, it was not strictly around when your RMDs kick in, but it's what can we do to check off everything from your list, pay as little in taxes as we can, and Roth convert, because it all kind of works together, right? So if that's the conversations that you don't know how to deal with, you're saying, I would like to make sure that I do my things on my list and not feel like I missed out on them. This is what good tax planning looks like. How much are you going to pay in taxes? How much is it going to cost you to do that kitchen remodel? How much is the addition? How much is the trip? And how do we minimize the tax effects on it? Mm-hmm. That's financial planning with a tax focus. If you want to have these conversations, we are here for that. 616-512-2127. There are so many ways to use the tax code to your benefit, to use it for your life, not for the government's benefit. And you have to pay taxes, but we can decide when, where, and how much to a certain extent.
Right.
So we can clean that up. If we're willing to take a 15, 20, 25-year view of taxes and say, you know what? It may take me 5-10 years, but I am trying to cut this tax number down. Then let's do it. Let's find a strategy that makes sense for you. 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. For Dave and Karen, the biggest thing is when we went through their plan and we said, all right, you're scheduled to pay $800,000 in taxes. There's a handful of things you want to do. And they're not cheap things. An addition on a house is not cheap.
Right.
But we could either Roth convert $100,000 or we could house convert $100,000. Which one do you think is going to bring them more joy? Right.
Right.
They're sitting there and they're literally building something for their family.
Right.
Like not like, oh, I'm in theory building a financial plan for my family. They're building a physical structure to bring all their grandkids in and have sleepovers and all the stuff they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's worth doing. So yes, we should be Roth converting. Yes, we should be cutting down taxes any way possible, but don't do it so the spreadsheet looks better. Do it so your life looks better. The financial advisor in me, right? Like the part that says, hey, I want you to keep your assets in the accounts. That way I get paid more and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That side would tell you just Roth convert it. But the reality and the lives that I see and the people we help, it's about checking these things off. Because I think there's too many people that I meet and they say, well, I'm 77 and I should have done. I wish I had. And we just don't want to live life like that. And now when you're in your late 70s, RMDs are kicking in and forcing you to take all this income out that you don't even want anymore. So now you're getting more income than ever when your body doesn't want to move as much, when you don't have the desire to move as much. So let's not put ourselves in that position. Let's pay taxes when it makes sense, and let's build a plan that makes sense for our family. If you want a tax strategy that's for you, not just a generic convert this much in Roth conversion, but how much should we pay in taxes? What should we be spending the money on? What makes the most sense for our family? Give us a call, 616-512-2127, and we will make sure that you find that Roth conversion sweet spot, the RMD sweet spot, the life that's meant for you.
All right, we were starting off the conversation. 'Tis the season for so many things. One of the big office trends that happens all around the country, not just here in Grand Rapids, is soup season, and I do love soup season. Chili in particular. That hearty, stick to your bones kind of food. If you were one of the many that had a chili cook-off, perhaps at your church, many offices do it. It's a fun office camaraderie event. There was this one guy, we'll call him Ryan. Ryan was on TikTok, Confessions of a TikToker. He participated in the cook-off at his job, except for he decided to take a little bit of a shortcut. Here's Ryan.
So my company is doing this chili cook-off. I am now in the drive-thru at Wendy's, and I'm pouring Wendy's into a crock pot, and I'm about to win this. What was the best chili? What was the best chili?
It was Ryan's Wendy's chili.
Wendy's chili.
First of all, nobody's going to debate that Wendy's makes great chili, Ryan, but you just kind of defeated the whole purpose. Aren't you supposed to make
Hey, winners win. Heather, winners win. And What's funny though is we've had this conversation. So we've done church chili cook-off forever. And years ago, my buddy always joked about it, but I'm like, man, it's just cheaper just to make your own chili, it's probably not anymore.
Not anymore. Beef is what, like $8, $9 a pound ground for hamburger? It's insane.
But we've forever joked about one of these years doing the Wendy's chili, and
just to see what happened.
Yeah. I'm glad someone did it.
It's all fun and games when it comes to a chili cook-off. However, something that you've seen in your line of work is people taking shortcuts when it comes to their financial plan, and that can really backfire, can it not?
Yeah, I think that sometimes because we don't like dealing with stuff, I don't like dealing with taxes or, estate planning or the things we put off, putting laundry away, whatever it is, right? We avoid them. And unfortunately, then we just take the easiest way out, which is a quick calculator or just calling an 800 number and someone says, yeah, you should be okay. I met with a couple a few years back. Their names were Cynthia and Granville. They're from Zealand. And they had been managing everything themselves and just kind of using online calculators and, the rules of thumb. And really, it came from Google searches, like how much can I take for my retirement? And then they use the rule of 4% or whatever they could come across.
Yeah.
So on paper, they were fine. Like on initial baseline look, they were fine. When we look deeper, though, there were some major tax exposures inside their account, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You got to clean up the taxes. There was no healthcare strategy. The income wasn't really secured past age 82. They needed the market to do him some favors because he didn't run the calculations exactly right on inflation and a couple other, the after-tax returns. So we had to go through for them and build a comprehensive plan with income buckets, Roth strategies, contingency protections. And at the end of the process, they literally said, I didn't realize how much we were guessing on. The days of exploring and hoping and maybe should be gone, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're 40 and 50. Once you get close to retired, like, no, we need absolutes. We need should be's. We need constant plans. Shortcuts are great for not having to make a pot full of chili, but it's not how you build a good, successful retirement plan. It's not copy and paste. Each family is different. Each tax strategy is unique. So a lot of times people do this DIY investment strategy, and it's like using canned chili. It's not the same. It's not yours. It's not how you like it. It's just it's a way. There's retirement calculators out there. There's big box templates, robo advisors, and they can give you a number and a guesstimate, but they cannot give you a comprehensive plan. They don't know your taxes, your healthcare needs, long-term goals, things like that.
Right.
The other thing is big box firms typically miss the personal ingredients, the things that make you, you. So we've all been at chili cook-offs when you say, what is it about that one? Oh man, I used sausage instead of ground beef. Oh, that was really good. Or I used steak chunks, and there's different things. Oh, I like that one. Why? It's got a hot, different taste. Well, they did a different seasoning.
Yeah.
And that's their touch.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law got really, and Kimberly got really popular for her white chicken chili.
Delish.
People love it. I'm like, that's not even chili. It's a white chicken chili. And she wins this competition. Kimberly's won it multiple times with this, a white chicken chili. I'm like, you're cheating. You're not even making real chili. But she wins because people love it.
Yeah.
And then they come to her and say, hey, how about your white chicken chili? Are you making your white chicken chili? Right? Now, I'd like to think that we're these great scratch chefs and bakers. We're not. I don't know where she got the recipe from. She does a great job with it.
Got it.
But at big box firms, you're an account number. There's no personal ingredients to it. You want to make sure it's specific to you.
Yeah.
If your plan is not really dialed in, detailed out for the rest of your life, make sure you have something specific to you. Don't allow your retirement and your life savings to be subject to guesswork. Again, Cynthia and Granville thought they had a really dialed in idea until we went through and said, hey, did you factor in this? Did you factor in long-term care? Did you factor in survivorship or widowship? Did you factor? And we went through and they said, holy cow, there's a lot we're guessing on.
Yeah.
Don't guess. Have a good strategy that makes sense for you. Give us a call and we can walk through those steps with you to sit down and build a plan that's fit for your life, not someone else's recipe. Give us a call at 616-512-2127, and we will get a time set up for you and I to have a conversation on the phone to go through your plan, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
So this is a story about a man named John who absolutely nobody is going to feel sorry for, despite John's
absolutely nobody.
Absolutely nobody's going to feel sorry for John, despite John's very best efforts to get all of us to have pity on him. The sob song this man is singing, Mike, is one that we should all, just put your ear to the radio speaker for a few moments here. We all remember Publishers Clearinghouse. Honest to God, I didn't realize it was even still around Like, because it was, you buy the magazine subscriptions and it had the sweepstakes that you could win those prizes. Remember Ed McMahon showing up at the
balloons and the giant check
and the giant, you won this much money.
Yep.
So it's not. I mean, it's rapidly unraveling. Publishers Clearinghouse, as a company, filed for bankruptcy. Speaking of the sweepstakes winners, they are also out of luck. There was this one particular jackpot where you would win $5,000 a week for life. I mean, ooh-wee. That is the lotto ticket that I am here for.
That's crazy.
That is good. Well, the new parent company of Publishers Clearinghouse, ARB Interactive, they're going, That company filed for bankruptcy. We're not going down with them. We are not paying you your $5,000 a week for life anymore. So here is John Wiley. He was one of these $5,000 a week winners.
It'd be great if we had like a bed of violin music.
I think there actually
playing
is,
in the background.
Listen, I think there actually is some music here. Hang on.
Okay, good.
This is John.
Why didn't somebody at least give me a heads up? Hey, we're going out of business, No, it's like somebody just cut the cord. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose my home. Sold my jet ski, sold my trailer. I had a little bit of money left over, and that's what I'm living on right now. I was proud of the fact that I left my children something. Now I can't leave them anything, and I'm really disappointed.
You're right. We needed a way cue the tiniest violin in the world.
Yeah. Like that music from The Incredible Hulk when he's walking, that no.
All right. Let's talk about the lessons we can learn from John's not sad story. I'm not sorry for him, because if you do the quick math on his winnings, he started his earnings in 2012. So when the check stopped coming in, he had collected over $3.1 million in the course of his lifetime. Now, the first question about this situation is, you think about what an annuity does. It's an insurance thing that we can buy from the insurance company. They will pay us out a paycheck. That's the deal. That's the contract for our retirement every week, every month, every year. What happens if an insurance company goes belly up? Could the same thing happen with our annuity?
So no, these are wildly different. So John put up $0.
Yeah.
He brought nothing to the thing other than sign up for a sweepstake, and he won, which is incredible.
That's awesome.
And it's more like buying the lottery ticket, right?
Yeah.
You put up $10 and you win, $1 million. And that sounds great. And they're going to pay you this out as long as there's money to pay you out. Mm-hmm. And again, John had received $3.1 million off of signing up for a sweepstake or mailing in something. So he got his. When you buy an annuity, you're putting up money. You're bringing a couple $100,000 to the table, or $1 million, whatever the size of the annuity you purchase. And you're not getting it from a sweepstake or from a lottery ticket or from a by chance thing. Mm-hmm. You're investing in an insurance company who, hopefully you're only using A-rated companies, have been around for 100 years. Mm-hmm. And those insurance companies are heavily regulated by the state, not even by the federal government. In each state, there are different regulators who regulate insurance companies. Michigan, Ohio, Iowa, these are great states to do insurance products in because we're heavily regulated.
Okay.
I don't typically subscribe to tons of government regulation. However, when it comes to me being able to handle someone else's life savings, I think it's a beautiful thing to be heavily regulated, highly watched and guarded, and very closely overseen.
Okay.
So when you put your money into an annuity, it's not a sweepstakes. It's not a lottery.
Okay.
It's a life insurance company that is going to pay you out a certain amount of money. And the way they do that is they take your money, pool it with a bunch of other people's money, and buy government treasuries, which are guaranteed with about 90% of the money. So they have really strict rules about how they keep their reserves, about how much cash they have on hands, because they have to be able to pay out not just your annuity paycheck, but life insurance death claims. So is it the same? No. Insurance companies rarely go under, but it does happen. Mm-hmm. And so what we have is what's called the State Guarantee Assurity Association. It's a nonprofit organization, but what it is the state has handed over the management of insurance companies to this. So if you invest in whatever company, ABC company, and you buy an annuity and you put $200,000 into this and it's going to pay you out, $6,000, $8,000 a year, whatever the number is. Then what happens is they're going to pay you that out. And let's say somehow ABC company goes under. Well, in the state of Michigan, what happens is the State Guarantee Surety Association will cover that contract. They will get it, they will cover it, and then eventually they'll probably sell it off to another insurance company. But you're insured up to $250,000 per person per company. If I buy a $500,000 annuity from one company, $250,000 is insured, $250,000 is not. But again, what typically happens, and I'd say 99% of the time, is that if an insurance company were to go under, before it goes under, it gets bought out. That's one of the interesting things about the insurance industry. A lot of times we see insurance companies change names. It's because one company was doing really well, one company wasn't. They buy them up, they merge, and they make a bigger company out of it, and you're actually more financially stable than you were. But kind of the bigger alarm to me in this story is not the fact that a sweepstakes stopped paying, but that someone who received $3.1 million now has nothing. I think that's crazy. This guy, and it kind of comes to, again, they set it up as almost like a slantumentary against the Publishers Clearinghouse, where they're like, can you believe they should have told me? Yes, I bet they probably sent you letters of some sort.
Probably.
But even if they didn't, they gave you $5,000 a week.
Since 2012.
Since 2012. So he said, I have to sell my home, my trailer, my jet ski, all these things. If you had been receiving this income and you had paid off all of this stuff and you went to maybe a more responsible style where, and I don't know John Wiley, but if you had cleared off your debt, if you had paid off your home with this $3.1 million and along the way only bought what you could pay for, or put the money into an investment account, that way you would actually have something on the back end, not just toys, but have something on the back end of substance, he'd be sitting on probably well over $1 million, a debt-free home, a debt-free trailer, debt-free jet skis, like all these things that he should have been able to do with $3 million. But the story is not uncommon. We deal with these type of things. We had someone who came into us. A client of ours reached out and said, hey, one of my good friends just won $1 million in the lottery.
Okay.
And I told him to call you right away. I said, okay. And so when they reached out, I said, all right, my challenge to you is this: don't mentally spend the money. Just come in and let's talk. Well, by the time they came into us, they said, we want $1 million. We're going to take the payout, which is $638,000. And then we're going to do something with it. I said, that's great. Let me show you how $638,000 over time can change your life. And they said, well, here's the thing. We had about 50 grand in credit card debt. We want to pay that off right now. I said, yep, I get that. We also like to pay off our home. I said, what's your mortgage rate? 4.25%. How much you want to pay off? $120,000. All right. We also would like to buy an RV, and I don't believe in financing toys. So we're going to pay cash for this RV and then build a barn to store the RV. And I'm just watching the dollar signs just fall off this thing. And they came in and I said, but here's the thing. How much do you actually want to invest? They said, we think we've got about $150,000 to give you. What can you do with that? I said, man, if I work really hard, we can turn it into $200,000. Like, you're killing off the golden egg, right? The goose that lays the golden egg. If you receive a big chunk of money like this and you just let it go to work for you, it'll kick off $40,000 to $60,000 a year. And it's like, if you've never had that kind of money, then you don't know how to handle that kind of money. So what do? We use habits that got us into debt as ideas to get us out of debt. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But no, the reality is when you get $638,000, you can let it go to work for you. It can kick off $60,000 a year of income, and you can pay cash for your RV. You can pay cash for your barn, but you got to wait a year. You have to be willing to be patient. John wasn't patient. He wasn't smart with his money. He didn't work with an advisor to say, here's a new world you're not used to. Here's how we make it work. People, when you walk into a new world, whether it's winnings, inheritance, or retirement, work with someone who does it all the time. That's the benefit of an independent advisor.
Yeah.
You retire once, we retire people every day. You inherit things once, we deal with people's inheritances all the time. We help people build the life they want with money they've never had, or a lifestyle they've never had constantly. Why? Because this is what we do. If you would like someone to help you understand your options, if you received an inheritance, if you want a lottery, give us a shout. We'll help you deal with that too. If you are just getting ready to retire and you want how to understand how to do this new life, let us know and we can help you do that. 616-512-2127. Call us, local advisors here in Grand Rapids, 616-512-2127, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
michigansretirementcoach.com is our website and where you can head to start the conversation. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.